Hello, welcome. If you're new here, hi. I just put out a tutorial for this piece. I'm going to make similar style and similar color palette. For this one, I want to do a snowman. So that is what I'm currently working on. The main brushes I'll be using today are the oil and turpentine. Hi everybody, welcome. So I'm just going to get down some of my colors. And I'm going to use the turpentine brush for the smudging because I really like the texture that it brings to the background. So for the sky, I'm going to start painting in just a little bit. I'm trying to decide. I'll start with the medium and then I'll go darker as needed. But I definitely want there to be some smoke coming out of this chimney. I will be having some trees more up close. And so you guys can sort of see what's happening without the interference of the lines. I forgot to turn on, as per usual, the do not disturb. There we go. Hi everybody, welcome. If you're new here, I just posted this tutorial yesterday, so if you are interested, that is available. I'm using this style as well as this color palette to create this over here. Essentially, I want to have a snowman with a Christmas tree here and then a dark cabin in the background. So that is what I'm working on. I'm going to combine those layers in order for the watercolor, oil and turpentine. Sorry, I was working, I was doing watercolor earlier. This is one of them. So watercolor is on the mind. But in order for the paint on this digital canvas to work the best is to have it on one whole layer. So that way as you're moving things around, not erasing them, it's picking up the actual colors on the whole layer so that they can be blended better. If you don't do that, what you end up with is just smudging this one color around on the background, which is fine. But if you're actually looking to have the colors be interactive and not just this one color being sort of moved, you'll actually want to have them all on the same layer. So you can grab this beige and move it up into the blue and move it down into the beige. And I'm actually going to color this part. I'm just going to go ahead and use turpentine. I'm just going to admit that I prefer the turpentine more than the oil, but I use them both. I'm going to make this darker. I will add highlights to this eventually, and also more shadow. But I just want it to represent like the smoke coming out of the chimney. And I also don't want it to be so bright, because then I feel like it sort of distracts from the rest of the painting, or it will in the end at least. I'm going to utilize, what do I want to do first? I'll do this color first. I'm going to start making the tree. I'm going to take down the size. Take away the sketch so you can sort of see what I'm doing a little bit better. Especially on these types of paintings, my sketch is more of like a guide. It's not an exact, reference. And I definitely know right now it does not look like much, because I know when I painted this, I had the same sort of experience where I was like, what is happening? But by the end, it actually came to be something. But when it starts out, it looks very bizarre. I don't know why people aren't commenting. But it's okay. How are you doing? Thanks for joining. I'm going to do more like a gray here. Down at the bottom, I will be adding in lighter colors, but I just want to sort of get some ground established. Does anybody have anything they want to talk about? Like, what's your favorite medium? Are you digital, traditional, both? Artist? Are you someone that's just starting out? Someone that's been doing it a long time? What projects are you working on right now? Hi, hello. How are you doing today? Awesome. Oh, thanks, guys. Thanks for participating. Much appreciated. If you feel so inclined, also okay if you're not feeling inclined, If you give this video live, there we go, thumbs up, that is great. Also, there's a little share button at the bottom if you feel so inclined to press at least copy link. You don't have to send it somewhere, but if you do have someone to send it to, fantastic. So I'm making a little holiday scene. I want to do a snowman with a cabin in the woods in the background, smoke coming out of the chimney, and then I'll have some forest around the area. I did just get done similar style, also using the same color palette. I just got done making this. Yes, I mean, I did another version of this, but I just got done making the tutorial and posting it yesterday. So if anyone is interested in making this, I have it in a tutorial. But yeah, I plan to have this be a form of a light source, so we'll get some light on this side of the snowman. And then I do want to have some light back here as well, but I'm just sort of building in the colors slowly. I know that it kind of just looks like a hot mess right now, right? Just like weird shapes coming together, but I promise by the end it makes sense. But I do know it takes a while to get there. Let's see, what do I want? I think I'm gonna start with this color as the snowman, snow person. And then I will go from there and figure out what I need to add around it and where shading and all that needs to go. All right, so now we can take off the sketch so I can see a little bit better what's going on. So right now I am not monetized. I just do this for funsies. I would love to be monetized. That's definitely like a goal long term, but I'm not currently monetized. Let's do this dark color. Who wouldn't love to be paid for doing something they enjoy, you know? Oh, thank you. Much appreciated. It's hard to accept compliments, but thank you. Thank you very much. That is a wonderful idea. I'm writing this down. Hold on. I keep a notebook next to me during my lives for things such as this. What kind of artwork do you do? I'd love to hear more about that. Yes, definitely. Okay, I know I want a tree back there. Definitely need to figure out what colors need to start. I'm totally painting this backwards, by the way. Just finished a coloring book and published it on Amazon. Oh, that's awesome. Congratulations. That's wonderful. How long did that take you to make? I imagine like for coloring books, that's line work. Line work takes time. It always seems like when I've done my like line work for some of my art stuff, I'm always like, oh, it won't be that bad. I always forget, like, no, like the precision aspect really does take a while. I don't know if I'm the only one that like totally underestimates how long my projects are going to take me. I'm always so hopeful in the beginning, and then I'm quickly humbled and reminded that no, it takes time. Shutterstock, but need to build a good portfolio. Took me a month. Animal drawings is not the easiest to do. I imagine it's not, because then too you have to be very decisive with like the lines, which ones are necessary in order to have the image like read appropriately. Well, good for you, because that's not easy. That is not easy work. Do you do any like freelancing or like commission work or anything like that? Or you just, not just, but like, or do you do work for yourself and just find different passive income avenues? Okay, maybe do this one up here. Yes. Yeah, I used to do children's books, like children book illustrations. It's been many years, but I used to do that, and chronically underpaid, because I think because it's like an illustration or cartoon style, people think that somehow like not as time consuming, and I'm like, no, it still takes plenty of time to make this. Get some yellows in here. It's really more like beige, but you know. And now coloring book so I can make a guide and update my channel. That's awesome. QR codes. Oh, that's so cool. I love that. I'm just testing out colors, sorry. I have quite a few that are similar but not quite the same. This has a little bit more like lavender in it, whereas these are a little bit more on the blue side. So just trying to figure it out. I decided I really need to focus more on building on my work towards passive income. I love that. Yeah, I definitely, there were parts of commission work that were okay, but I definitely just enjoy creating, and honestly, one of the things that I enjoy the most is like teaching. I've been a life and relationship and nutrition coach. I'm certified in all three. for the last several years, and I enjoy helping others and finding creative solutions and stuff like that. So I just realized, like, the way in which I want to do art is so that I can connect with others and help others and, have community and stuff like that. So it took me a while to realize that's what I wanted out of my art. But now that I understand that about myself, it's coming along much nicer, much easier, very enjoyable. Totally. It is a really difficult time to not have a predictable 9-to-5 job. It's very, very hard. The consistency and reliability of it for these times is definitely necessary for a lot of people. Yeah. I think that was something else that, like, was also really hard for me. That doesn't mean for everyone, because there's plenty of people that love commission work. I just don't. That's just not me. And that's, I applaud other people and their dreams, and if that is what they enjoy, I love that for them. I really struggled with the fact that, like, when you're doing commission work, I found that, especially in the beginning, when you're trying to build your portfolio, it means that you're taking a lot of work that isn't necessarily your style, and you're creating things that are based on someone else's vision. And sometimes when those people don't, like, right, if they're not artists, they don't necessarily have the vernacular or the way to describe what they want. So communication issues can arise, and that can be really hard when you're like, I'm barely making like $2 an hour as is, and now I have to keep redoing this because we're not understanding what the other person's saying. Now, some of that's me. I made a lot of errors in the beginning that I think are just normal things that you learn along the way. So, like, now I know how I would do it very differently, but I'm just not interested in that. Hi, hello. Yeah, there's some really, really amazing digital artists out there, and there's amazing all kinds of artists out there. But since we're doing digital right now, like, just incredible. It's amazing to see their work. And it's really cool that we live in a time where we can see each other's work, because there would have been a point where it would be really hard to come by someone else's, artwork unless they became huge, like really, really big, without the internet. So it's neat that we have that capability now. Not everyone can afford nor has the ability to like get formal, like, college training and stuff like that. A lot of artists are self-taught, and a lot of them are able to utilize, online tutorials and online courses and workshops, and it's really wonderful that we have that. I've been on for only 26 minutes. Tons of publicity now. Perfectly crafted line art. Oh, that's cool. The line works. Imagine that. Yes. Yeah, I also, another industry that I'm really interested in is like indie authors. I'm a writer myself, and I think it's so cool that we live in a time where, um, you can become self-published, and some of your job then becomes being a content creator, figuring out how to market yourself, and you don't necessarily have to go through an actual like publishing house. So I think it's really really neat the ways in which creative people have a lot of different options in how to express themselves, get their work seen, and get out there. And there's no right or wrong way. There's just different ways to do it. And I think it's neat. We have so much to explore. Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I just recently picked up doing this style, if you can call it a style, but definitely like brush. I've not used oil painting brushes before. So I've picked that up recently, and I've really been enjoying it. It's been really fun. It's a lot looser, it's a little easier. I don't want to say like easier in as in like it doesn't require effort, but I think easier on my mind in terms of like it allows me to let go of the perfectionism and just allow myself to just like, I don't know, just allow the colors to flow. And what's nice too is it's teaching me that if I make a mistake or I want to change something, I can, and it's going to be okay, and I'm going to figure it out. It's not the end of the world. Because I do, in order to get that effect, I'm painting on one layer, right? The same way that, like, if I were painting on an actual canvas. So, and I'm going to grab that color and go here. Okay, I'm gonna try, still trying to stay very much like inside the color scheme without going outside of it if I can. So what I am gonna do, as I've shown in other ones, when I get to a point in a painting where I'm like, okay, if I like this, I like where it's at in terms of like a foundation, so I'm going to duplicate that layer in case I mess anything up. I can always go back to this as my starting point. So yeah, and this is like my most orange outside of the brown. This one and this one are probably the most orange, so we're going to use that for the nose. eyes. Hi, hey, how you doing? So no, usually I only stay in this. I do have Photoshop. I have occasionally when I was doing stuff for like the children's books, I would export into Photoshop for any additional things, but typically I just make it all in Procreate and leave it as is. That's just what's easiest for me right now at this point. All right, let's get some of this. All right, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself because I'm envisioning where the light would be coming from on the tree. So I think I'll start putting some light on the tree. And let's see, probably need to finish getting some colors on it though. How are you doing, laughing girl? That and just get some darker colors in here. It's starting to look more and more like a tree, slowly but surely. I'm good. I'm enjoying being able to have just a quiet house and just, you know, getting some painting in. Okay, and just to show, so like progress before, after, just minor things. How long is the live going to be? That is a wonderful question. Usually it's anywhere between like an hour to 2 hours. It depends on my energy level, honestly. Sometimes I start out strong and I feel great, and then other times I kind of hit like a crashing point. So for now, at least, I'll be on for 30 more minutes. After that, we'll see. So I just put this new layer on a blending mode called Add. And this one I like to, this I keep on a separate layer. Once I like everything and I'm confident that I'm not going to be moving around the colors underneath it, I do end up combining it with the background. But for adding highlights and details, I usually start out on a separate add blending mode. So that way I can do things like this. Oh, thank you. I definitely, I have been known to be someone that has time blindness, and when I'm enjoying something, I can be like, oh, just 5 more minutes, just 5 more minutes, and then before I know it, it's been several hours that I've been live. So we'll see. I do know for certain though that when my kid, I know when it gets closer when my kids are gonna be home, it's a lot easier for me to step away because I'm like, I gotta get stuff ready. They're about to come home. So exactly. Speaking of, if anyone is ever struggling with inspiration and just sort of feeling like you get inspired and then you never quite act on it, and then you're like, dang it. This book's really good. It's called Big Magic, Creative Living Beyond Fear by Elizabeth Gilbert. Love that book. It's really, really helpful. I'm still not even done with it, but what I have read of it was like really life altering when I started it last year. I really need to finish it because I legitimately was like, yes, the whole time I was reading it. And it helped me really stick to a lot of my goals. So it's a good one. As someone who has dealt with a lot of imposter syndrome, lots of years of picking up art and putting it down and judging myself for it, it's been really good. Yeah, it's called Big Magic. And it's great. I don't know. I personally felt like it was good. Obviously, do your own research and reviews, but there's just something about it when I read it that just helped me, like, I don't know, feel more inspired to be active and not passive in my creativity. I'm gonna do a separate layer so this one can belong to the snowman for now, and do add again. Okay. I think I'd like this tree, even though it's an outdoor tree, to be full of light. So I'm actually going to erase these highlights. I'll put them, maybe I'll end up putting them on that layer, but I'm going to do this layer with Christmas lights on it. And I'll make it more glowy soon. I'm just getting the lights first. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Well, thank you, thank you. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for hanging out. Hey there, Sandra. How you doing? Now, another option for this, I'm going to see what it looks like to decide if I want to do it that way or not, is I could go to luminance and I can try using the light pen and do it like that. It's not awful. It doesn't have like the texture. It does have this glow. Maybe I could do a combination. Maybe a combination would be good. Kind of like that. Yes. It's really difficult because I think art is one of those, like, it's really difficult to produce something that's genuine and authentic and inspiring when you're not feeling motivated or inspired. And at the same time, if you don't do things, if you don't practice the skill, even when you're not feeling like it, you lose you lose a lot of the momentum. And I also think sometimes we have this unrealistic expectation that everything we make is going to be another, I don't know, like masterpiece. And that's just simply not the case. A lot of times we make really crappy stuff before we find good stuff. A lot of times my art lives are me exploring and figuring out stuff so that way I can make them into tutorials later. Because, for example, when I made this one, that's probably my third version. I did delete one version. I don't know why I deleted it. I wish I'd kept it. This was my first version of it, which I like this one too. This one's more simplistic. There's less details. There's a lot of things about this I like. This was my first go at it. And then there was a second go at it. And then this was my final one where I felt more comfortable adding more details. And I did this during a live because I wanted to explore it. And eventually I felt like, okay, maybe I can turn that into something. This one, I haven't turned into something, but this was just me playing around, and you can tell, like, it's off. It's not perfect. But this was just exploration. And so this one, I really like this sketch. I tried this during a live. I hate it. Hate it. It happens. Sometimes you make some things that just don't. You just don't do things, you know? And that's okay. Happens. Thank you. I think I'm going to try a different style. I'm going to try probably my more simplistic style. I wouldn't say it's like simplistic. It's more, I guess, my illustration style. So this is like my illustration style. Ignore that there. I was probably just trying to turn it and accidentally. But anyway, so here's kind of what my illustration style looks more like for like books. This is more up close. This is what my illustration style tends to be. That. And then when I do like paintings, it's more like this. Even though this one's sort of like cartoonish, it's still more of my more realistic, thoroughly painted out style. But yeah, art is a journey. It's definitely a journey. Okay, I think I'm gonna get rid of, oh no, I'm not getting rid of anything because they're all in the same, they're all in the same layer, but it's fine. I'll make it work. I will be adding some vibrance, but I'm gonna do it, I think, in a different way, similar to how I did the lights on this. I like that style better, so I'm gonna try recreating that. Oh, thank you. Honestly, just practice, guys. That's all it is. I'm not saying it doesn't take time. I'm not saying that it's not difficult, challenging, but I did not wake up one day and just know how to do this stuff. It's, practice, studying, taking time to do things the hard way. Cry a little bit in between projects, sometimes during them. Okay, let's see. So what I did with the other one was I duplicated those things, the lights, and I used the smudge tool so that now there is this, and so if I smudge it, makes it look like there's a glow, but I also don't want to lose the shape because that can sometimes happen like that. So that's why I have this on a separate layer, so that if I create a glow on the underneath, I can still have the actual shape. I find your illustration resonate more in your work style. Probably. But that's probably accurate. Let's make sure I'm on the right one. Okay. Yeah, I know some people like really have a defined style, and I love that. Like literally, I've always craved being like that kind of artist. But I feel like I kind of have like two different styles. I have like my illustration style, and then I have my painting style. But I also still, I get, I don't want to say bored, but I do have low-key ADHD, so I do feel like I oftentimes need to change things up in order to feel like excited and inspired. So I find, you know, I have to change it up once in a while and just try different things out. I literally feel this. I feel this so much. It's taken me this last year to sort of own the fact that I don't have, you know, I don't have a super honed in style. But what I do know is that I have enough of a style established that I feel like I have some signature things that I do in this piece and in how I use highlights and shadows that I also utilize in here. So there are certain things, certain brushes I would say that are my style or that resonate. You'll see me use a lot on, here's another example of my more painted out version. And I use lighting and highlights and shadows, you know, similarly. So those are like things that I can consider consistent in my art style. And then for the more illustration, I tend to use the same brush. Though I love exploring other ones, but like if I'm like going to sit down and be comfortable and know I can spit something out real fast if I need to, I'm going to be using Inca brush, like Inca, which is under inking. I used it on this one. I like that it's like a hard edge brush, but also has texture in the design of it. So that tends to be my go-to. Like I said, I've been exploring the turpentine and oil brushes, so I've been making more things that are made out of those, but that's just me exploring. This isn't typically my style per se. Although maybe now I have an oil painting style, who knows? This I think is consistent with my other style in how I tend to use light and the brushes that I typically use. So I definitely feel like your work has recognizable style. That's good because I don't feel that way, but I feel like there's things that I do that like someone would be like, huh, I wonder if Brie made that, because it does have that one thing she tends to do. You know, here's like another example. I feel like there are certain elements that I do that are maybe recognizable as like my signature moves, if you will. But I have plenty of things that don't fall in line with that. This is completely just out there. But it does have a lot of my love of the Inca brush. You know? Like, this is just random. I like things, and so I paint them. Sometimes it's consistent with the, I mean, you can tell over the last month I've been a little more consistent, but you know, make videos and art, make vlogs, there we go, and art videos, but rather inconsistent. Hey, as long as you're consistently inconsistent, they're even in inconsistent, like, what does consistency mean to you? Is it consistency based on the person that produces like every single day, or is it consistent as in like it's consistent enough that there's a pattern in your inconsistencies, you know? Because I'm not, if you look at my published dates on a lot of my tutorials, they're a little bit like scattered out, but you know what I am consistent with? I usually put out at least one video a week, like one full long video a week. Is it on the same day? Absolutely not. Some weeks I get two, and some weeks I barely get one in by Sunday. But you know, it's there, it's happening. Oh my gosh, I know, right? I think we need organizers for organizers as artists. It's so true. But yeah, you know, and I make content for TikTok and Instagram, and then obviously shorts for on YouTube. I think the one thing that's consistent is I don't post at the same time every day, but what I do know is in order to stay in the algorithm, I have to post every day. So I post at least one video. Sometimes they're good quality videos, sometimes they're crap quality videos, but I'm determined to keep the pattern and the habit of posting so that I don't lose that habit. So even if it sometimes means that I am either reposting something I've already posted, or it means that I'm posting, you know, a 5-second video versus like a full length 1 minute with, you know, all the bells and whistles on it. It's, for me, it's holding the habit that's most important to me, because that's how I'm going to show up, is by building in these habits. I also get this. And I think that's one of the hardest things being a content creator, or like being a creative, and in this world where in order to be seen, you have to have a presence, right, online, if you have certain goals, right? Which means that you'll have to be a content creator to some extent. And I think my biggest you know, completely unsolicited advice is follow people who resonate with what you want to put out. Not necessarily that their style is your style, or even their topic of what they put out is necessarily yours, but their content production. See what they're doing right that makes them successful and that is in alignment with what you're willing to put work into, right? So there are definitely some artists out there that like have all the bells and whistles on their videos, and like I love watching their videos, but I'm like, yeah, I'm but one person. I don't have an editing team, and I can't afford additional softwares to the ones that I already have. So I have found what I am comfortable and capable, but also that I feel proud producing. So, you know, I think everyone's going to have a different answer for that, and there is no right or wrong. It's just finding what feels good for you. Lives are very nerve-wracking. Lives are very nerve-wracking, but I think because I'm inactive, like I'm live, I feel obligated to keep going. So I've definitely pushed through a lot of discomfort. Doesn't mean I enjoy it, but I can do it now. I mean, I was a coach, but I was a content creator for the last 3 years. I got one of my I have it currently deactivated because I need a break. But I got my other, sorry, I'm trying to talk and focus and it's not working. So my other job that I used to have that I'm not doing right now, I got my account up to 150,000 followers. So like I understand content creation. I don't like it, but I understand it, and I've studied it enough times. And I've had to change, right? Because I was doing coaching before, and now this is art creating, and it's tutorials, so it's different. But there is overlap and understanding of, like, unfortunately, content creation is just a part of this. But you can do it, is what I'm trying to say. You can do it. There is no reason why you cannot. I'm not saying it won't be difficult. It is a learning curve, but you can do it. Oh, yeah, exactly. Art is subjective. Art is subjective. And literally, this is coming from someone, I don't like being in front of the camera. I hate being in front of the camera. Even this is difficult for me. But practice is what got me to this point. You don't have to feel like doing something. You don't even have to be comfortable to do something. When I started my old account that I got to that larger following, I started out as an artist on it. And I used to talk about life while I would do my art. Go figure. And eventually I just sort of realized, there's a part of me that wants to talk about a certain topic, and people seem to want to hear about it. So I went with that. But when I started out, you can ask my husband. He's not home right now, but next time he's around, I tried to avoid showing my face for the longest time. I tried really avoiding being seen. I did not feel comfortable in front of a camera. I really hated it. I still don't like it much, but I'm used to it. I've built up the ability to do that. And in some ways it really helped. It helped me build a better relationship with myself, because if you think about it, when I'm doing like lives and showing my face or even filming videos, I'm looking at myself. And so a lot of times people are asking me questions about, life and, how to recover from, my thing was abuse, how to recover after abuse. And, I'm like sitting there talking to people and trying to encourage them, like, hey, there's life after this. No, it doesn't feel that way right now, but we can start rebuilding today. And I'm like talking to people and encouraging them, and like subconsciously I'm literally talking to myself, because I'm staring at myself while I'm talking to people. And so I got to internalize a lot of the positive messages that I was giving to others. So I just think there's a lot of benefits that, there's a lot of downsides to content creation, but there's also a lot of benefits. And you can learn it. I still don't like it, but I know how to do it. Thank y'all. He is getting a smile. I'm not liking the eyes as much right now, so I'm going to make them, I think, dark all the way around. But the good news is I can always just paint over it if I decide I don't like that change. So I'm going to start there. I think I like that better. It was something I really didn't expect. I also used to, it's not like it's gone away, but I used to be much more severe, struggle with like body dysmorphia. And man, showing up and having to look at yourself every day, like, sure, there were some days where it was a little rough, but after a while I started to not, it might have a different effect for someone else. Someone might have a negative experience, but I ended up being like, okay, that's how I look. And I was able to be a little bit more accepting of it. Again, I think it was just extending grace and kindness to others allowed me to extend it to myself in a way I couldn't before. I always think of it as like I positively brainwashed myself. You know, I'm telling other people like, you can do it, and I'm like saying that to myself, and I'm like getting off my own lives, like, yeah, I can do it. I didn't mean to inspire myself, but I somehow did. Okay, what I'm going to start off with is I'm going to do it on a separate layer to begin, and then I will combine them. I'll mush them together after. Sometimes it's just easier showing up for others. I was talking to another content creator who is also a coach, and he was coaching me. Because I ran into like content creation like block, essentially. Like there was just a creative block where I was just like, man, I feel like I've said everything I can about this. I'm just not feeling excited about it anymore. You know, at that point I've been doing it like 2 years. And he was like, you're making it all about you. And I was like, okay, what do I do then? And he was like, maybe if you try reframing it and thinking about like, what's a message that someone needs to hear today? And as silly as that might sound, just having that reframe on like, what can I do to help someone else? Like, if I don't show up today, if I don't tell somebody like they are wanted or they're worthy or that their life will get better, it's just hard right now, like, you know, if I don't do that, maybe someone really needs it and they come across my, account that day and I don't post. So that actually really helped. That helped reframe my ability to sort of push through some of that creation block. I think just fear of being perceived and showing up. Sometimes I'm like, I like hiding. I'm an introvert, I like being quiet and to myself. Hi there, welcome. And that's another reason why I can't stress enough how important community is, because I needed another content creator to be like, hey, there's a way forward. There's another way to look at this. And I always do better when I'm surrounded by, by other people, because my way of thinking is not the only one. I love the different perspectives people can bring to the table. Sorry if I got a little too preachy there. I love trying to encourage people to go chase their dreams and just know that it's possible, because it is. Yes. Don't even get me started on TED Talks. I love TED Talks. So many have been life-altering. Oh my goodness. Yes. I'm going to go up to my add layer, my little highlights, so I can put some highlights on our snowman arms. I know, right? I feel like every year it just gets faster, but yeah, I can't even believe that it's December. I feel behind already. Does anybody else feel that way? Like I already feel behind for the holidays. I don't want to overdo the highlighting here. Oh, you're very, very welcome. Thanks for holding space and allowing me to share. You know, take what serves you, throw away what doesn't. Leave that. Okay, I can do this. There we go. Yeah, my kids were like, "Can you believe Christmas is just around the corner?" I'm like, "Wait, what? No." Like, obviously, but what? Since when? I'm just gonna add in a little bit of warm yellow glow into this. Hopefully it doesn't look like a dog peed on the snow, but you know, it's fine. Happy early birthday. Do you have any plans? I'm personally not a big birthday person, but if you are, I celebrate that for you. I feel like the years just go by so much faster. I feel like every year I say that, which just shows my age more and more every year. It's fine. Oh, thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you for spending time with us here. Looks so huggable. That's good. Taking the day off of work. Nice. Oh, that sounds nice. I hope you get to do that. I hope the day is nice, bright and shiny and warm. And let's see. So for these here, so I know they're lights, but even lights are not usually consistent in color and like saturation. So I'm going to take the ones that are down here towards the bottom, and I'm going to see if I can make them just a little bit darker, like still glow, but just not as intense. So still there, just not in your face. I also can try, let's see. that? Don't do that either. Ignore that. Just pretend I didn't do it. What I could do though is I can go like this. Okay. Selected, sliding down with 3 fingers. Cut and paste. So now these are on their own. What I can do with that is take down the opacity. So I might do that. I actually want to undo. So I'm going to keep these bright and not adjusted. And then I'm just going to go down the tree and zigzag my way around some of the lights. Like so. Cut and paste them. And then from here, I can dim some of these. So I'll just dim some of these a little bit. Max number I've gotten on lives till date. Do you mean like number of viewers, like at one time? Nice, sunny Christmases, very good. Where I am now, there's a chance of snow, usually like once or twice a year. But yeah, where I grew up, there was never snow ever. So, but it was cold. Like it got cold at least. There was that. No, don't do that. Let's see. I'll still do add. Okay, but I just want to lighten them up some. Okay, there we go. I was on the West Coast. I like the West Coast was nice, but it's very expensive. I guess parts of the East Coast are also expensive too. But the West Coast I felt like was like, whew, there's no way to survive here unless you make a ton of money, which I did not. So it's like, all right, I think it's a good idea if I move. Plus, I wanted to get away from toxic people, so that helped. That was good motivation. I've gotten up to, it was in the high 20s. I think it was at like 27. And that, I was really surprised. It actually lasted for quite a while. I was like, oh, okay. Hi, guys. Sup? Feel free to stay. So that was cool. But honestly, like, while that's fun, what I enjoy more is actually when I know the people, like, in the live, and like I can actually build like trust with them. I feel sometimes I'm a little bit like a skittish cat, so I enjoy more like going live and knowing the community than like the numbers of the community. So I'd be fine with both happening. Like I'd be so okay with having a lot of people and knowing them, but just having a lot of people and not knowing them, that just makes me so deeply like uncomfortable. Thankfully, I feel like I'm building, you know, some like a good amount of regulars. Definitely, some of you guys are my regulars, so it's like okay, I'm getting comfortable. It's getting better. Maybe I need some, like, just a little snow up here. We'll find out if that's a mistake or not. But in the meantime, I feel like the snow adds. Maybe I'll just build a little bit more up here. I've been on for 77 minutes and 27 seconds. If you are looking for a very specific time. Oh, sorry. For art, I started streaming in July, I think. At least for YouTube. I've done some lives before on like TikTok, but not with like the intention of trying to like build up my channel. I just have done them before. I can do this. I'm like, my brain's slowing down. This is what I mean. There gets to be a point in the art process where I can just tell my brain starts to shut off, and it's like, wee. But I'm going to try and stay live a little longer because there's parts of this I'd like to get painted out, at least just like started. Maybe I could take some of this blue and move it down here just to push the light just a little. It's kind of fun. I don't know if it shows up for you guys as much on the screen, but I'm also going to, okay, that's on top. I just want to make sure. Can I get away with some blue? Probably not very readable, but it's fine. All right, let's get some light in this part. Sounds good. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you so much for spending time with us. I would definitely consider it for sure. Definitely feel, if you follow me on Instagram, feel free to message me there. And the answer is definitely not no. And if I sound hesitant, it's only because I suffer from extreme anxiety, and anything new sounds terrifying. Not personal, not at all. Okay, glad it's not just me, because it's so not personal. I have some friends that are like, we should go live. I'm like, yeah, we should definitely. And I'll just wait until you message me. Until then, I'll wait. I think that would be fun to do. Okay. I'm going to combine these. So now, all right, let's, okay, so we were here at one point, and then we upgraded just a little. Hope you guys can still hear me. My alarm went off. So, and then add light. Ta-da! Okay, and now I might start with the navy blue and then I'll work my way to the brown. Really wanted to do like a cabin back here. I also wanted a tree here. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not. We'll find out. I'm going to at least get the cabin in, and I'm going to do it on its own layer though, so I can decide if I actually want it there or not. I don't want to have to repaint. So I'm going to put on my own layer just in case. Another option would be just to duplicate this, which I actually am going to do. So I'm going to duplicate this. Now, okay. So now I have this in case I mess up. All right. Oh, you are so sweet. Thank you. You're so sweet. Thanks. Hi, welcome back. Yes, help us name the snowman. Snow person? It's snowman. Okay. I think I want blue in the windows. Maybe I do like a circle window. We'll find out if we keep that or not. And then there's a door here. I will be reworking this, but yeah. I don't blame you for making that assumption at all. I'm gonna actually repaint it right now. I'm gonna make the sky dark and then restart on the smoke coming out of the chimney. Rufus, I love that. I think Rufus is fair. Apparently, I have that there. There we go. Smudge. I definitely think I need to put something here, though. I'll get there. I'll get there. I'm just saying it out loud. Okay. And now, let's start with maybe that. No, that's too dark. Maybe start with that. Oh, I love Rufus. Absolutely. Yeah. I think I love when we come up with like names and stuff and stories, background stories for the characters that we paint. So love it. Rufus it is. It was funny because the name that I had floating around was like Wilfred, and I feel like they're, you know, they hang out in the same area. They're like cousins. So Wilfred and Rufus. All right. Let's see if I can get this to work. And if not, it's okay. Sometimes I just need to step away from a piece before I can make it come together. I don't know if you guys were around for some of my other projects, but there's definitely been some where stepping away was the best choice, because then I was able to finally see what it needed in order to like come together. Oh my god, yes, how did I not think of this? Yes, Wilfred lives there and Rufus is the snowman that Wilfred has to make because he's so alone in the cabins all by himself. Obviously, how did I not, you know? You know what's funny is sometimes I forget that my handle name has my name in it. And sometimes when people say Brie, I'm like, wait, how did you know that? Sometimes I'm a little slow. I'm like, wow, that was a really good guess. How'd you figure that out? Alright, maybe there's like snow on this roof. Timer away. All right, so like icicles-ish. Oh, I love it. Rufus Snow, Wilfred Roof. All right, we'll put this here. Let me get just a little bit there. And then I'll go like this. I'm slowly figuring it out. My apologies that this part's taking a bit longer than I thought. But that's usually how it goes. Yes. Good call. Huh. Oh, no, there's nope. No need to apologize. This is why I like going live, because people think of things I don't or see things I don't. I may not take everyone's input, but that does not mean I don't value it. Sometimes if I don't take someone's suggestion, it's more a reflection of my inability to do said thing more than anything. Like, that does sound good. Too bad my skill level does not match the idea. I'll get there. I know this will come together. I just need time. Some of this is I need to lighten up. Like this. This needs to be more blended in. I've definitely had people come on here like, oh, you should try this. And I'm like, yeah, I should one day. It's not personal. I'm just not capable. Let me real quick take that off for a second so I can smudge. Not like that. Okay, I definitely think this is going somewhere. I just don't like my, nope, I don't like my execution of it, so I'm gonna start over. But I like the idea. I don't like the way that I executed it. My skills said not today. Let's try it again. I'm gonna try more of a blue than a yellow and see how that goes. I'm also gonna try it on its own layer. Okay, I think that works better. And maybe I can have like icicles running along here, catching the light. We'll see. That looks kind of fun. I think I need to put like a moon up here or something to help with like justifying this glow, but I'm keeping it. No, I did not say erase. I mean, I guess technically I did, but I didn't mean to. All right, we're gonna put some of this out here. I feel like maybe I need to create some sort of path. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Now you guys get to see me flustered in real time. Sorry, the alarm keeps going off because I'm supposed to take my meds, and I don't want to leave the live to shut off the alarm, but I should probably go soon. Not only to take the meds, but also because I have other things that I know I need to work on. All right, door. What are we gonna do with you? Okay. I think maybe I should add, we'll see, but I was thinking maybe I guess finish that. Good Lord, my brain's all over the place today. Okay, let's finish this. Oh, thank you. Thanks. I'm going to bring this down here and I'm going to combine it together. So now those colors are more or less permanent there. I'm going to use my smudging tool to just sort of soften up some of these edges. So I don't want the cabin to compete too much with the foreground, and right now I feel like it does. I am going to lighten this up in the next live that I do this, but in the meantime I'm just gonna soften up some of this stuff here. I believe Goku is beyond my current drawing capabilities. It's not something I draw very often. It's been a very long time since I've drawn anime characters, just character art in general. Okay. There was a thought that I had. Okay, for one, when we get to this point in a project, it helps to group, and then it also helps to flip so you can see what's not working. So you can see like what's looking awkward. Like, so the perspective on the house is a little awkward, right? Let's just be honest with each other. I think the rest looks okay. I think that just the cabin looks the most awkward. I could still afford to work on the foreground here, and then, you know, putting in a tree here, and maybe even some tree silhouettes back here, and then maybe stars in the sky and whatnot. But I think the most noted thing. Have a good day. Thank you so much, Laughing Girl, for hanging out. So I'm gonna real quick make that adjustment and then I'll go. I'll show you guys what I would do in order to correct this. So going to the copy one, I'll duplicate it so I have a copy. Take it out of the group though, so it hangs out with these. And okay, so here's what we started with. Here's where it got to. This is where we're currently at. Okay. Oh, thank you. And then that's with the lighting on. So now because I have a copy right here, I'm going to draw directly on this. What I'm going to do is select the front of the house, distort, and so I can start sort of moving things around to get the perspective better fit. I might actually do this on having it flipped the other way, because then my eye will see it a little bit better. So I'm going to also, to preserve, let's turn that off, and then flip. There we go. Okay, now I can see it better. What we are going to do is actually grab around here. I'm going to copy and paste it so that way I can move this over. I still have that underneath, but it doesn't make a white background now. And I can scoot this over so that it makes more sense. I think that perspective makes more sense. So I'm going to go back to this and I'm going to select the color that's nearby and then just brush out the house underneath. It's showing through for now. It's not perfect, but it does get the job done. So I'm going to go now to this piece. I'm going to combine them, and now I can smudge and round this out. Okay, so I'll show you guys the before and the after. Let me switch, and it's still not perfect. I have to do more. So this is where it currently is. It's small, but it does make a difference. And like right here, you can see there's some line. That's not a big deal. Those are all things that we can just fix by going like this and just softening up the edges. I'm not interested in keeping this texture anyways, because I said that I was going to paint it lighter, maybe something more like gray. That's still a little too dark, but it's better than the navy blue that I got going on. Okay, and then this. Okay, so this is what we got so far. I think this is a good spot for me to stop for the day, at least for now. I might come live later, but there's no guarantees. It really just depends how the afternoon with the kiddos are going, how much homework they have and stuff like that. Do that. I'm looking for that. I think these can afford to be smaller if I was actually on the right settings. There we go. Okay. That would be funny. All right, guys. Well, I am going to go take a break, try and get some other work done. I was going to finish painting this. Maybe maybe this is how I come live later. I have this canvas that I've been working on that I wanted to make a wreath. Obviously, I've started, but I need to finish it. And I want to put gold leaf and some glitter and some red berries. So I'll probably come back later and work on this. Oh my god, sorry for all the jumping around. Oh, and I worked on some watercolor earlier and I wanted to share one. I was super proud of this cute little snowman. It's cute. And I did this. These are like scraps of paper that I have left over that I'm going to turn into like gift tags. So there's this. And I did this. It's shiny. It's hard to tell, but the little face it's silver. And in real life it shows up. But on the screen, on the camera, it's not coming up so good. And I made this bookmark the other day. I also made this cute little penguin. I want to do one with a penguin, like a digital painting with a penguin. And then these are the last two. I made this for a gift tag as well. And then this for a card. So yeah, these are the things I've been working on. If you are looking for tutorials, I did just put this one out yesterday. Similar style to what I've been working in for this one. Same color palette. So same color palette, just slightly different in use. Thank you guys so much for spending time with me today. I hope you are all doing well this Monday. Please take care of yourselves. If I don't see you later, have a good rest of your day. And if I do see you later, fantastic. And yeah, we'll talk soon. Bye, guys.